Yay. Okay,
Hello.
and then I have to go. Okay.
We're live.
We
Hi,
are.
Maggie.
Hi. How's it going, Mallory?
It's good. We are like on the learning curve right now in real time, going
We
live.
we are. We are just learning as we go. Okay. So beautiful. We should be live on all platforms now. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Substack.
We're everywhere.
We're literally
If you guys are
everywhere.
watching on TikTok, as many of you are joining right now, we are actually live on YouTube, Substack, all the places. So if you want to join the conversation and be a part of the comments, we would love for you to join in. We're just going to be giving this state of the union, state of insanity that we're about
Bit
to
of the
witness.
fuckery.
I'm hearing, so I've been listening to the Siren live stream. For those of you who don't know, our podcast, Pretty Furious, is a part of the Siren, and they are live all night long. Like they started at 6 p.m. Eastern. So
They're unbelievable.
they've been live for a while now. And so I've just been listening and, kind of taking in what they're saying. And everyone's like, it's going to be 3 hours long. Gross.
The State of the Union?
Yeah.
Hell no. Abso-fucking-lutely not. 3
I mean,
hours.
I'm not going to watch anyway. The whole point of us doing all these streams
Absolutely
is
not.
like counter programming, but still, it's still.
100%.
I think it's going to be very interesting. Oh, oh, that might be too much.
Oh shit. I don't know if that's gonna work.
No, get me out of here. Well, I'll turn down the volume for now. Hi, everyone. If you're watching on TikTok, join us over on YouTube. We would love to see you, or on Substack, where we'd love for you to join us and subscribe.
Yes, subscribe to all of our channels. We're everywhere. We have our first deep dive episode coming for Pretty Furious on Monday of next week.
Yes. Uh-oh, we're promising days.
I'm like, question mark? Do we know? I don't know.
That's what we hope.
But yeah, that one's going to be fun. We're doing a deep dive into Miss America. So
yeah,
subscribe for that. Mallory, State of the Union.
State of the Union.
State of the Union.
Please, let's bring everybody in with the Pretty Furious theme song.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, it's not a Pretty Furious episode without our
be sedated. Like we should not be allowed to do that.
To be live.
100%.
Well, it's really funny because, as you know, you've co-hosted the Stakes with me on Thursday nights, which, by the way, I meant to ask you, would you like to do that this week? Question mark.
Yes,
but yes, so what if Maggie said no to me on live right now? No, but that one like is all set up. All the branding is already done, the backgrounds, the banners, like all the stuff, all these little things that we have that go like this, all that's already set up in there. So we just get in and we like get to it. And today I was like, oh, we've got some work to do to get a live setup. So yay for our first ever live on stream.
Mallory. Yay, Mallory, for doing all of the graphic design.
Woo.
Okay, so promises made, promises kept. That's the theme.
Have they been kept though?
That's the theme of this year's State of the Union.
Have they been kept though?
It's so bad. Yeah.
The thing is like this administration, as we all know, just lives in fucking Delulu land. Like, just make up shit, and that's what it is. And of all of the themes, like we can actually, with data, tell you whether you did or did not keep your promises. Like,
right.
Data. Newsflash, they didn't keep their promises.
Right. I think we have a stat here that says Trump has kept about 19% of his promises so far, which is actually shockingly higher than I thought it would be.
Do you know what one of the promises that he kept was?
Pardoning January 6th
people. So like of all of the things he promised to do, the party of law and order promised. He pardoned January 6th. Yeah. Anyway,
Wild. Yeah. So, yeah, super fun. Love that. One of his most popular promises, I think, and this will be applicable to our live stream right now, was to save TikTok, was to do a save of this app. And the app, in January switched over to new ownership. They are now owned by Oracle and good old Larry Ellison, is it? I believe,
Yeah.
who our lovely friend. So yeah, I mean, if you've been on TikTok at all recently, you will know that everything is completely different in terms of the algorithm, in terms of the content that they favor. So that's super fun.
Well, I mean, I think we can
Love
both.
that.
Well, I don't know. I can say what's happened to my TikTok, which is that I used to have like, a couple of thousand views on a video average, and then
Oh
every
yeah.
once in a while I would have one or two take off. And there was a point when I was making, maybe like $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month on
Yeah.
TikTok with my content. And now I'm lucky to break like 600 views on a video.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. So
Yeah, it's insane. I
living
mean,
TikTok.
and not to mention the amount of the like the sheer content you're being fed, which is most of my content now on TikTok has nothing to do with politics, which my For You page used to be inundated
Yeah.
with current events and news, and now it's all, shit you can buy, and that's basically it.
Yes, absolutely. Being
Mhm.
sold to, for sure. One thing that I think is so crazy is I was actually on the phone with my friend who's got I think he's got like 300,000 followers on TikTok. We were on the phone this past
Damn.
weekend, and we happened to we were put in a group message, which don't you all love? We were put in a group message, and I was like, oh damn, I need to call you. So I called him, and I was like, you haven't popped up on my feed in couldn't tell you how long.
Yeah,
And
that
he was
part.
like, "Yeah, I don't, I'm not making as much content, so I guess." But I was like,
Mhm.
"No, this is different."
Yeah,
Like,
I hardly see
so
anybody's stuff that I, like, actively follow now. So, um, well, while we're here, I guess we should talk about some of the promises made, promises kept. Let's talk about some of
promises
the
made.
promises broken.
Yeah.
So, um, let's talk about the first promise broken. So, the one promise was that, he wanted to stop the Ukraine-Russia war within 24 hours?
I'm gonna be the president of
Is that
peace. I'm gonna
the time
be
frame by
the
which
president
we
of peace.
So, there's
Newsflash,
that.
we hit 4 years yesterday or today. Was it
Uh,
today? I think
yeah, I
today
think
is
it was
the
today.
anniversary, 4-year
Mhm.
anniversary of Russia's attack on Ukraine. So
Cool.
definitely didn't make that one happen, sir. And in
Amazing.
fact, not only did he not stop the Russia and Ukraine war, he's borderline started many more.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything going on with Iran, Greenland, all of this bullshit.
Venezuela, like, just
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
we're stacking them up right now. Hey, if
and
you guys are watching us on TikTok, come on over to YouTube.
as a result, Trump's, unsurprisingly, his approval ratings are, in the literal fucking toilet. The last time that he gave a State of the Union address, he was, down about 15 points in the ratings. He is down 27 points now,
Mhm, mhm.
which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think is the lowest that a president has ever gone into a State of the Union address, I'm pretty sure. So
I think it's his personal
and
lowest ever.
a personal record for him.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, we have that. Um, a fun fact
Well,
for people tonight is that Erica Kirk is attending as Trump's guest. So,
yeah.
just so you know.
I mean, the videos coming out of her being thrilled about merch sales after her husband's passing, insane. But I thought that this video from CNN was really funny, so I want to play it. It's about his approval rating.
What's your take with what you're looking at on how people are feeling about how Trump is doing in this moment?
Yeah, okay. I would borrow the phrasing of Tony Blair, of course, the former prime minister of Great Britain, saying weak, weak, weak. It was weak over there in the United Kingdom. It is weak here in the United States when it comes to President Trump. Okay, Trump's net approval rating. Look at all the pre-SOTU polls, the SOTU State of the Union. Look at this. Okay, we're at this point. Look at that. Negative 27 points. My goodness gracious, the snow is up to the knees here in New York City, and Trump seems to be well underneath it at this point. Compare that to where he was in 2020, 2019, and 2018 in term one going into those State of the Unions. Minus 10, way lower now. Minus 15, way lower now. Minus 15, way lower now. The bottom
I love
line
this
is
guy.
this, Donald Trump has
He's a
never been
comedian.
weaker going into a State of the Union address according to our CNN polling than he is right now, and weaker by a considerable amount.
Well, you know, I think that's going to cause him to have a full-on tantrum tonight. Maybe that's why people are estimating that's not the only reason they're estimating 3 hours, but certainly I think he's about to start being like, but, look at all this but I've done.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, no doubt I think affordability will be at the top of the list of topics that we will see tonight. There will be several, I think, maybe 3 to 4 main talking points, but affordability will be one of them, certainly. He is going to try and kind of, reclaim this economy, for lack of a better term. He will probably also say that we are doing okay in terms of jobs. From a recent NPR article, the cracks in the U.S. economy are showing, certainly. Job growth has slowed 75% from a year ago. So from when he took office to now, it has slowed 75%. That's an insane stat to me. But yeah, no doubt he will try to say that we've created more jobs, that we have, strengthened the economy in a lot of ways. So just factually inaccurate.
Well, what they're actually saying is that, it had to get worse to get better.
Exactly.
That's what's going to come tonight, right? Mike Johnson's already started laying the groundwork for this conversation, and some of his news interviews. They know it's bad. And Democratic lawmakers who are actually showing up, we're going to talk about that a little bit. There's a lot of them who are boycotting. Some of them are wearing white. There's always something that the counter does. But a lot of the Democratic lawmakers brought people to the State of the Union tonight who have stories of their financial difficulties. And in fact, just over on the siren, we were listening to a restaurant owner named Lester, who his insurance premium went from $650 to $1,000 a month. And he was like, now I have to make choices about what my kid is able to do. She used to do dance and swimming, and now we have to make that choice. And he was like, I'm a restaurant owner. You can't tell me that food is cheaper. It's not. I know it's not. So he was like, it's so insulting for this administration to essentially tell us that we're not experiencing these things. And he also brought up energy cost. He was like, my power bill is us and these damn power bills.
These fucking power bills.
If you don't get that joke, we have done an episode
we have talked ad nauseum
about power bills, but people are really feeling that, right? And so I think it's going to be insulting for them to try and do anything else. So now the messaging that they're trying is this, and I'll play this for you.
More people are going to realize that. They're going to feel the effect and the benefit of that as we go further into 2026. As Scott Bessent said so well a couple weeks ago, he summarized it. He said, listen, 2025 was just setting the table, and 2026 will be the feast and the banquet in the economy. And I think we can expect dramatic growth, continued growth and expansion, more jobs, higher wages. I think all those things will happen because we have put the conditions in place to make it possible.
Yeah. So now the story is we had to do all this stuff and it was really hard and it's going to suck, but it's going to get better. Just wait.
Yeah, that's insane to me. I mean, it because it also is like, well, first of all, let me just say on record that Mike Johnson has one of the most punchable fucking faces I've ever seen. Every time I see that guy, I just want to fucking throw hands. I just want to punch him in the throat. He is the most insufferable person. Anyway, aside from that,
he just gives in the closet like all the other ones. So
1,000%. Yeah. Don't talk at me with those frames like you're a straight man. Don't fucking do that to me. But another key piece of this is you know, it's like having a shitty ex-boyfriend, right? Who just keeps saying to you, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
be
not
different.
manipulative. I'm not controlling. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it's like clearly you are experiencing something. So in fact, so much to the point where like American households across the board are all feeling this. So let's real quickly divert a little bit to the tariffs, which will also be a huge topic of conversation tonight. I am sure that there will be a lot of you know, especially with everything that Illinois here, JB Pritzker has been saying about getting refunds for these tariffs. I am sure that that will be top of mind for all of them. But Trump's tariffs actually cost American households $1,000 this last year.
Yeah,
That's
except for
from
the American households aren't the ones who will be getting the refunds.
exactly. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So
So
even if the business owner does get it, I mean, the cost has already been passed on to us.
right. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I mean, I think JB Pritzker's, you know, little invoice he sent to the to the government was like $8 billion or something. Like, yeah, it's insane. And that was just for the state of Illinois. So yeah, it's every single household across the board is feeling all of this. Even when it comes down to grocery costs, you know, so grocery staple prices have increased by 11% or more just due to tariffs. So, you know, that's kind of without talking about
Any
regular
other
inflation. Yeah, that just naturally will happen. So, yeah. So suffice to say that every household understands that tariffs and the U.S. economy are yeah, not great, dude.
Well, we wish every household understood this. And yet there are still states, like I was looking at a poll today, Kentucky, the approval rating for Donald Trump is still 51%. 51% of
That's
people
fucking
polled
crazy.
in the state of Kentucky, which by the way, their entire bourbon industry has been completely turned upside down solely due to tariffs. And yet people there are still just riding the Trump train.
It's fucking crazy. I just can't with these fucking losers, man. So yeah, I mean, this is what Donald Trump does, though. He is the epitome of a con artist. Like he is a con man in every regard. So
Well,
yeah.
I think the thing that, you know, this has been said about him a million times, but just let's not forget that a man who has always had wealth, who has always had money, who has always been a con artist, he doesn't grocery shop. He doesn't understand the concept of like looking at your bank account. And I mean, I guess he might because he has to like beg, borrow, and steal over and over again to pay people, not pay people. I don't know. But like looking at your bank account and wondering if you're going to be able to afford whatever it is you need that month. I mean, we were talking about this just on the phone. The idea that having a baby and like formula and diapers alone, those two items, never mind anything else that you need, those two items increased our monthly expenses drastically.
Yeah.
I mean, several $100s. And so when you're multiplying that by multiple kids or multiple infants that are in diapers, like people are really, really hurting. And for basic necessities, having a hard time. I wanted to play this video that shout out to Chad, who was on our podcast talking about power bills. But also he edited this video for us over the Seneca Project. And I just felt like tonight it was a good time to remind people that Donald Trump doesn't know anything about affordability and he's a con artist. And so this video that we made is called Don the Affordability Con.
Talk about the economy, sir. I wonder what grade you would give
A+.
your economy. A+.
Yeah, A++++++.
Word affordability is a con job.
Affordability.
Affordability. It doesn't mean anything to anybody.
We're still struggling, even when we have our money coming through. We had to suffer going almost a week with no food.
Don't be dramatic.
And I have no higher priority than making America affordable again.
I brought these along so people could see, but nobody's actually seen anything quite like it. I think it'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's about $300 million.
At this moment in time, of course,
the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
These pictures have been in newspapers. They've been all over the place, and, you know, we're very proud of it. It's gotten great reviews. The reason I don't want to talk about affordability is because everybody knows that it's far less expensive under Trump than it was under Sleepy Joe Biden. You can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. They only need one or two, you know. They don't need that many. Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know. We have potentially the greatest economic boom in the history of the world.
Groceries are off the charts.
I want on groceries.
Can't afford the cost of food.
It's a very simple word, groceries.
Using credit cards for everyday expenses.
When they use the word affordability, they never say anything else.
No money left after their bills are paid. Pretty much just a whole bunch of financial mess.
It's a con job.
Jones is a 3-time Trump voter, but she says he has simply failed to keep his promise to lower the cost of living.
I feel like it's only gotten worse.
I think the only way we're going to do better is if he gets out and somebody else gets in.
Groceries.
I just have to state this on record that I don't know how anyone I laugh almost every time he speaks because it what do you mean? What do you
mean you've taken him seriously ever?
Yeah, what do you mean you listened to him and you believed him? That's embarrassing. And listen, if you are somebody who has, voted for Trump and then gone back on your vote and said, "Hey, listen, that, I made a mistake. I learned and now I know better, so I've done better," whatever. But God damn, it's satire to me. I'm like, what the fuck
it's also the inability of people to hear themselves when they say he shoots from the hip. He says it like it is, he means what he says. He says, he's straight, he shoots straight. And then in the same breath, they're like, "Oh, he doesn't mean that. He didn't mean what he said. That's not what he meant. That's not what he meant. He didn't do that. He didn't do that." Make up your mind. Which one is it? Does he shoot from the hip and he knows what he's talking about and he is straight and to the point, or does he have no idea what he's talking about and he just blabbers and you're like, "That's not what he means"?
It literally is like a bad SNL skit. I really
every day of our lives. I want out of this timeline.
Even 10 years into this, I'm just wait, what? This is you people voted for this?
And yet every single day we're still surprised by something.
Yeah, exactly.
I do feel as though I also think I have spit up on me. That's hilarious. I do feel as though I am finally to the point where something happens and I'm like, "Oh, well."
I would agree with that.
That's just another day in America.
I would agree that I'm at that place as well.
I hate that I feel that way, but
same. Yeah, it's shitty.
For my nervous system, I have to just go, what did we think was going to happen?
Yep.
And in fact, what's crazy to me is in my planning calls for the work that I do a lot of comms consulting with different places. Seneca is my main. And in our planning calls, we literally every single week, we plan Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're always Thursday, some crazy shit's gonna happen. So don't plan anything for that day. Literally, we can't even plan our weeks or our months without having to leave holes for whatever the next level of insanity is that's coming our way.
100%. Yeah. In a way, if you're a political content creator or you are somebody who speaks about current events or the news or whatever, it's yeah, of course it keeps it interesting, but would we rather have interesting, or would we rather have, I don't know, some fucking sense of stability literally at all?
Maggie, I want to sit on the couch like you did last week and watch the documentary about Tyra Banks. That's what I want to do. And instead, I'm looking at my phone being "Oh my God, what are you going to do now? We're bombing another country."
Right. And then so much stuff, what inevitably ends up happening is that so much stuff is going on that you can't possibly keep up with everything. So you're missing what would be a major headline in any other world is completely going under the rug just because there's so much other fuckery that's happening that you can't even make sense of it.
I've actually been thinking about this a lot, right? Because I feel like both of us pay attention, right? We know what's going on. We are reading the news. We are getting the content. We are in the know. And yet I sit down and I listen to someone like Tara, who I work with, or Joe, or like some of the folks on the Siren, and they are 17 levels deeper in this shit than I am. And I am just like, how can you hold all of this? And so
Yeah.
when we're thinking about like what to do with Pretty Furious and how do we make content that reaches people, I've started expressing to people that I'm like, hey, we need content and we need explainers for the average everyday woman who is not
Mhm.
being inundated with, and not just women. We want all people to watch and listen, but we know our audience, right? We want people to listen to Pretty Furious and like have some fun and also learn something that takes them just like maybe an inch deeper than they
Mhm.
were in the subject matter. But I listen to some other people and I'm like, God, I thought I knew what I was talking about. And they
Yeah,
are
100%.
and the way that these people hold all this information, I'm just like, oh my God, it's too much. It's too much to
Right.
hold on.
Well, and it's also like when you know it, you can't unknow it. So then you're just stuck with that. Like, so if you go into any of the intricacies of, ICE or, like what we did with our latest podcast guest, I had little to no understanding of the, how ICE was developed, how it came to be. Um, I was super young when 9/11 happened. So I, have such little context for that time. And I learned so much from this person who is, 18 levels deeper into this. And it's
And has lived
overwhelming.
it. That's part
Yeah,
of it.
and has
Yeah.
lived it. And it's overwhelming, but it's like, well, think of how overwhelming it is for the people who, are hiding in people's homes in Minneapolis. Like, that's like, so it is a lot to carry, but I think if we can help somebody understand something a little bit clearer, in this fuckery that's all going on, then great.
Well, speaking of ICE, that's definitely going to be a topic of conversation tonight. They're going to rah-rah sis boom bah. The fact that they're
100%.
deporting people left and right, even though for anybody watching, what is different from what Obama did? What is different from what Biden did? The humanity of it all.
The humanity. Yeah.
I
Obama
don't
and
know, due
Biden.
process.
Yep. Yeah. Obama and Biden at least, believed in due process. We're not holding people at places with the conditions like Dilley Detention Center, where, children are there in disgusting and cruel and inhumane conditions. That was not something that Obama or Biden did. So full stop. It just wasn't. So families were not being ripped apart. That was not something that was going on. Like that's just objectively factual. So that's it's insane. They are going to praise the work that ICE and DHS has done. I am sure they may even give some kind of kudos or shout out to Kristi Noem even, who should be fucking fired. But yeah, so
If they don't say the names, Renee
Oh, yeah.
Nicole Good and Alex Bray. And honestly, they're not even the only two names that deserve to be said, but my God, I
highly doubt that we should expect any kind of, recognition from these people.
Yeah.
A fun fact that I learned today, though, Mallory, is that the courts in the United States have ruled 4,400 times that ICE has jailed people illegally, and it still has not stopped. I found this to be
And no one's surprised, though. I mean, they're going
mind-boggling.
after people who are working, who are in daycare centers and at restaurants. They're not going after criminals, which is a promise that they made that they've broken. So they said they're going to get the most dangerous people out of here. They're going to go after the criminals, and that's not what they've done. It's just not.
Yeah. In fact,
5-year-olds aren't criminals. I don't know how to break it to them, but
babies are not. Yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Like, and even one thing I think a lot of people are like kind of missing the mark on or not understanding is that even criminals, even those who have a record, still get due process. That is the law.
That's how you know they're a criminal.
Correct. Like, so what the fuck is happening here? Like, and a stat I found crazy to me, this is from CBS, is that less than 14% of the people who were arrested by ICE in Trump's first year back in office had violent criminal records. So
that's not surprising to me, though. That's not surprising to me at all. And the thing that's crazy to me is, like, we can't have a conversation about the economy and affordability and immigration and not understand that those two things are absolutely tied.
Absolutely.
The idea that the average conservative, MAGA-loving American can't get it through their thick fucking Neanderthal skulls that the people who make this economy work are immigrants. They are doing the things that you don't want to do, and they are also upholding entire systems, the service industry, the farming industry, like our economy will collapse. When Stephen Miller says they want to deport a third of the United States, who the fuck is gonna work? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You know what? My crash out online the other day had someone asking me when I'm gonna make merch that says, "What do you mean?" And that's how I feel. Like every day I'm like, how can you be so stupid? What do you mean? What do you mean? We understand that we need immigrants in this country in order to make our economy work.
100%. Yeah. I mean, and then, like, what did these people think is going to happen? They think costs will go down when immigrants leave?
Are they going to go out there?
What's the plan? Like, are you going to go and do
AI isn't going to farm for us?
Like, what is happening here? So, yeah, I mean, it's laughable. Like, all of their logic is so incredibly flawed that it's laughable how they get to these conclusions. So, yeah, it's wild.
You mentioned the detention centers, and it has to be said that there are some really horrendous stories coming out about these detention centers, concentration camps, if you will, about assault, about women giving birth to children without medical care, without doctors present, without any follow-up to those types of things. It's just, what is happening is modern day enslavement. I mean, that's already our prison system. We are rapidly adding to that. And it should be terrifying to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think on that note, one other thing that should be terrifying to people is how we have still seen no repercussions, nothing happening whatsoever in regards to the Epstein files.
Maggie, my cocktail's kicking in, and now I'm about to be like,
don't worry, I'm probably gonna get like kicked off TikTok here in a second. They're gonna be like, she said the word. Get rid of her.
Epstein files, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, block her account. Yeah. So tonight there are several people who are attending the State of the Union, Congress people who are attending, who will be bringing Epstein survivors as their guest. There are also several who are not attending. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I think that there are pretty sure, I think, several survivors who will be in attendance tonight. Yeah, I think to see other countries who are actively pursuing litigation and arrests for people who don't even have the, of course these people are mentioned, but they do not have
even
near the accusations against them that Donald Trump does. And I think that should really scare a lot of people. I mean, I don't know how anybody like who voted for that man sleeps at night. I really don't. What has been hidden from the general public in terms of what the DOJ has hidden in regards to accusations against Donald Trump is disturbing.
I was actually just pulling that because
it's disturbing at best. I just read one of the files today. It's god awful.
God, my computer is an absolute nightmare. But no, okay. Let me see if I can read it. Actually, this might be I will summarize. There is an FBI complaint form that has been circulating now as something that, first of all, I just want to go into the fact that the Epstein Transparency Act was only supposed to redact the names of victims/survivors, people whose identity needed to be protected, and like classified information, even though I don't even know why there would be classified information. So Trump's name was never supposed to be redacted ever. No one who's like powerful, their names were not supposed to be redacted. They are not supposed to be protected in this scenario. But one of these FBI forms that has been circulating, this was the title of this is sexual exploitation of a minor. The date that this complaint form was made was 2016, November of 2016. And it was a report to the public access line in New York. It was made by phone, and it basically is a young woman who said that she was raped by Trump when she was 13 years old, and Epstein as well. She was asked to cross state lines, visit with them, perform acts with them, both adult men, at parties that were hosted by Epstein. And this was all under the guise that they would further her modeling career. This is something that's been circulating because it wasn't kind of initially a part of like all of the hoopla when the first batch of the 3 million files came out, which is only a small portion, by the way, of the files that do exist.
Yeah.
So the stuff that's continuing to trickle out is like, I don't know what else anyone needs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What else do we need?
Yeah. I mean, in my eyes, there have been several kind of instances, right, where I'm like, okay, if you don't get it now, then you'll never get it. Like this is the point where you won't understand how malignant this person is. And I think that 2 of those moments have already been in 2026, which is crazy that like this has already, happened this year. But Minneapolis being one, and we knew about the Epstein files last year, but I think in terms of what's been released in 2026, we have seen obviously a lot more. I think those 2 things combined, I think if that doesn't do it for you, you are like, your moral compass doesn't exist. Like there's really no hope for any person who doesn't believe that this is wrong. Who
or
can't,
that it's real. The amount of people
right? Yeah.
evidence. I'm like, you have multiple women, which I'm going to play. There's a presser today with some of the survivors, including Virginia Guthrie's brother and family were there. Multiple survivors, multiple personal accounts. These people, I cannot stress this enough. And you've said this as well. These people are going into the public. They are not making anonymous accusations. They are saying this is real, this happened to me, and they are standing together. They have stories that are very similar. People don't do that for shits and giggles. They have all undoubtedly blown up their lives, right? Like, this is surrounding their lives. There are people in their families who are learning about this happening to them for the first time in their lives. This is a deeply, deeply traumatic experience. And for many of them, probably extremely filled with shame. Like the fact that they have to go out there and say over and over and over again, like, basically, as a child, I was manipulated into doing this. And now the whole world knows that I've seen Donald Trump's mushroom penis, or I've seen Jeffrey Epstein, or I gave that man a massage. Like, I cannot express that women don't just do that for fun. They're not like, this is not. So I think that like the people online saying, where's the proof?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing
Proof is in the
for them.
survivors.
Yeah, there's nothing in it for them. There is literally nothing in it. People will, a common like rebuttal I used to get to that when I was, I would have pageant like interview coaching, right, in preps for Miss Iowa and stuff that was surrounded around my platform, which was sexual assault education and prevention. And one of the, kind of rebuttals that people would make is, well, what about when a woman gets famous because she accuses somebody. And I will often, now think of that a lot. And I think, so you think that like Monica Lewinsky had a good time after like she accused Bill Clinton? Like what do you think these people are in it for? Like there is no net positive.
The women who have taken their lives, the women who have spent years and years in like recovery, who've gone through substance abuse, like no.
And their safety, their family's safety, those are at the top of the list of the first things that go up to bat, like when they are telling their story. So
I will say promises made were that Donald Trump would release the Epstein files. I think anybody with 2 brain cells can tell that this man was running for president yet again, surrounding himself with people like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, because they all have something to hide. And this is the thing that they had to hide. And the only reason that we've gotten this level of I'm not even going to use the word transparency, because they did this kicking and screaming, and there's a whole lot more. The only reason is because the public has put the pressure on and we're not stopping. So if you're watching this and you think like talking about it online or is not doing anything, I promise you it is. They are feeling the pressure and they don't like it. They are scrambling to figure out how to hide whatever's left, how to not make it seem as bad as it is. And we know that it's bad. If the stuff that's come out already is not the worst of it, oh my God. Right?
I can't even, like,
if we're killing babies and eating people and that's not the worst of it, then what's left? What's the next level?
Yeah, some of the shit I read in there, which, like, listen, 10 out of 10 don't recommend people do, but like
If you're a survivor.
Yeah, I was too like in the weeds on it, but the stuff I read from journalists who were doing the heavy lift of going through these files, it is seared into my brain in a way that I like can't explain. It is not graphic, does not do it justice. It is inhumane beyond comprehension. So yeah, I mean, I think if you like him, you're a shitty fucking person. Sorry.
Well, there's also, it's like, we've talked about Pam Bondi as the worst, but like I said, they ran on this. Pam Bondi said, I've got the files, they're on my desk. And then she said, there's nothing in the files. What do you mean? So I found this video today just for a little bit, just like this much levity. I don't want to make light of this situation, but like just this much. Here you go.
You want me to jerk the wheel?
Pam Bondi. I swear. I wake up every day, my eyes open, I look at my life, and I go, Pam Bondi.
You know what I had to do this morning? You know what I had to do this morning? I had to Google, what is an attorney general? Because I was like, surely it's not Pam Bondi. It is Pam Bondi.
The Department of Justice. The people interested in justice.
The attorney for the government. For the United States.
Yeah.
Pamela Joanne Elizabeth Bondi.
Yeah.
Go.
Her. I hate her.
She
I
is.
Hate her. What a criminal. What a violent criminal. I'm going to remember that. I don't want to like get into it, but I'm thinking about this a lot. People I'm related to, friends, colleagues, fans, all of you who have been complicit or voted for this, I will never forget about it until the day I die. You will never be off the hook. It is not a footnote about you. It is a huge flashing sign over your face for the rest of your life.
And even when she dies, I will be resurrected from the grave posthumously, and I won't still not forget about it. Pamela Joanne.
I didn't know her middle name was Joanne. Pamela Joanne Elizabeth Bondi.
First of all, that's the worst name in history. And second of all, I love Trixie and Katya so much. They're so
I thought you would really enjoy that.
Saying her name and just swearing for like that full like 10 seconds. I'm like, that's literally what our podcast would be if we didn't like edit. If we didn't
in there.
If we didn't have if we had beeps in there, that's literally what it would be. Yeah, incredible. Well,
that was the levity. I do have something serious for us to end on before we release people who might be watching. I hope you're not. Head on over to the Siren. Head on over to the Siren's counter programming. They are interviewing congresspeople, folks that are there. And before I play this and we head out, I want to remind you guys that you need to be following us. Follow us at Pretty Furious Pod. Follow Maggie. Follow me. We made it easy. We're both hits in our name. It's Mallory Hagan. It's Maggie Burnett. And we've got our Substack over at Pretty Furious Pod. We would really appreciate if you would give us a follow, and we would love to do more lives, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to make it weekly.
I'm going to play this one last clip, and then any of our closing thoughts we'll leave you with. Here you go.
This moment is about all of us. The state of this union, the state of survivors, and the state of our country. And many of us feel dismayed, disrupted in spirit by the intentional chaos that has been created to distract us and desensitize us to the harsh realities of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and the horrific crimes committed by their rich and powerful friends. Today, as Americans, we find ourselves at a crossroads. We have a choice to make. As American people, what do we want for our future, and what do we want for our children? We can choose to let the Epstein case remain a stain on American history, another chapter where the rich and powerful escape accountability and survivors are told to be quiet. Or we, the people, can decide it is time for change. So don't look away from us. Don't look away from Virginia. And do not leave survivors behind once again.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, bear that in mind as we go into this State of the Union that he's mentioned more than anybody else in those files. So there you have it.
So basically, anything he says doesn't fucking matter because he should be in handcuffs and on his way to jail.
He should be rotting in prison right now. So cool. Well, I'm going to beep up over to the Siren and go check them out. And then Mallory and I will be on the Siren in 43 minutes, approximately 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern. We will be on the Siren doing a quick little live with them. So feel free to pop on over there. And thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.